dangerous.
Yeah, because
they're already warring anyway.
They're already. I mean, they said, well, because of George Bush, we can't do anything. No, because of George Bush, they didn't have the weapons.
I know. So now
they didn't have
using it for power.
Well, yeah, but Bush wouldn't have. Bush basically slowed him down as much as he could. Obama makes no. I mean, even Hillary Clinton in her speech, which she is running, her presidential campaign speeches are now running in California. Basically, California, Florida, Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania, where the big electoral things are, where she basically, Obama has strength, which she no longer has strength. Okay, they don't even want him here. But she changed the thing on, well, you know, the world is standing against Ahmadinejad and his nuclear power, and they put sanctions. They said, well, several countries. Well, the world is standing against Korea with the sanctions, several countries. Yeah. He refuses to do anything. And they said, well, how do you stop it? Well, simply, you shut them off from, you shut the Gulf of Hormuz off. That's where they bring their oil through. Oh. That's right. You stop doing business with the Russians who are building their reactors. You stop doing business with the French who are building the reactors. The Russians are broke. The French are broke. Their countries are broke. The Russian government is built upon oil.
And guess what happens when oil's low?
Oh, yeah.
Yay! It's under $3 a gallon now in Southern California.
And they're not making any money. I mean, they're nationalizing oil fields because the country isn't making. When the spigots were flowing, they let people be rich. Now they're not flowing. They're basically grabbing everything they can because they need it to build their military up. But I don't know. It just angers me that we have a president that would basically, you know, we'll put it this way: if the president, I absolutely guarantee you that if this man was told, flat out, you know, if you don't allow that mosque to be built, and you personally break ground for it, we're going to stage an attack on some city in the United States. In order to stop that attack, he'd go dig the ground open. He'd just sit there out with a shovel, because he would capitulate.
Capitulate?
That's right. Anybody, I knew it. I mean, the guy knows the history of Neville Chamberlain. They said he knows all about Neville Chamberlain. Yeah. Peace in Our Time. He thought that Neville Chamberlain was right and everyone else was wrong. That if the world would have simply paid attention to what Neville Chamberlain was doing, as soon as he made Peace in Our Time, basically the Germans invaded. It wasn't that long afterwards. I mean, Neville Chamberlain's brother, I think, was Prime Minister of England. It cost him the job of Prime Minister because he sent his brother over to the Nobel Prize person for getting peace in the world. And basically, no sooner than it happened, they still give the Nobel Peace Prize after all the acid.
Well, you know, they say yes, 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 yes to your face, right? Yeah. And then guess what they do? Well, right? They're like, sure, send us money. We'll stop doing that. And we'll use the money for, and they're building weapons and power against us. Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking years ago, the father of my nephews, which isn't actually married to their mother, which that's not done a lot anymore. He basically, he was German and he was born in Libya because his family were soldiers. And his mother went to the soldier, father was born there. And basically he knew how to handle it. They hijacked the German plane that he was on. And he just simply and calmly walked up to the guy and stared him in the face and then knocked his teeth out. Because he took the box cutter from him, because he told the people on the plane, he said that they're basically all cowards at heart. The only way they're ever going to hurt you is if your back is turned. And the people, most of the Muslims condemn these people. Well, if I was Muslim, I'd be pretty upset because they're giving you a bad name. Yeah,
and then the fact is, what you got to understand, the majority of the people these people kill are Muslims. I mean, virtually, well, the United States is responsible for the dictatorships that are in charge of all of these countries.
How is that?
No. The British and the French and the Germans put those people in power. We had nothing to do with any of those things. The companies that own all of the rights to that stuff are not American companies. We build wells. We build equipment. We did not own that stuff. The British, the French, the Germans, and the Italians all own this stuff. We get it from them, and we don't even use oil from most of those countries except Saudi Arabia.
Oh, really?
And we'll get, and then we actually sell. Okay, who has the greatest reserves of natural gas and oil in the world?
Who?
We do. We do.
Except they're not supposed to drill anymore.
We can bury the world, like they said, well, because all you got to do, I'm going to try going back to Richard Dawson, who doing a lot of these oil things, basically said he lives up on the bluffs up down by us. And he said that he'd watch ships come in empty from the Standard Oil go out full. Mm-hmm. We sell more oil than we bring in anymore. Mm-hmm. And if we didn't sell more oil out than we use in the country, we're not paying them.
That's right.
So if you simply said you can't do that, sell it to this country, and we'll let you charge. We'll take like 5 cents a gallon off of your taxes if you sell the stuff here.
Oh, guess what would happen?
They start selling it here, but they can make more money selling it out of the country. They bring, they process it, then they put the refined stuff on the ships, then they send the damn stuff to Iran. You know who you stop from making money if you stop the Iranians, if you stop the stuff in the Gulf of Hormuz? Who? American companies. Because our stuff flows into Iran like a spigot. General Electric does business with them by the tons. Basically, who else? If you can't get the Americans to stop doing business with these people, Iran does not have the facilities to process their oil. It has to be shipped out to other countries who refuse to put sanctions on them. Mm-hmm. So, but I can tell you, the British Empire was the largest empire in the world until the British government decided, well, we can talk to these people. They let Mahatma Gandhi chase them out of India.
What?
Because well, we can't, military might cannot win. Well, they didn't need military might. They speak English over there, folks. They speak English. They don't have to speak English. The English haven't been there since 1946.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
And English is still, that's what they predominantly speak, isn't it?
What's the predominant language in Hong Kong and who runs the country?
Mm-hmm.
It's English. You could go to all of these places that the English word, the predominant language is not the language of the people. Like the predominant language in the Philippines is English. The predominant language in all parts in Burma, English. You go to one country after another. Predominant language are French, English, French, English, French, English, and then there's their language. And the British and the French have not been in charge of anything in at least a half a century.
Oh, really?
They speak French in Morocco. They speak French. We were listening. We went to the beach yesterday where she was looking at some clothes to buy. The young lady speaks French from the Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. They speak French. But you can't let people push you around. The instant somebody tells an American you can't, because my father, going back to the analogy, my father would basically, the 101st Airborne Hunters were trapped at Bastogne. And somebody came up to, they said, my father was in the headquarters, because it's headquarters, he's sitting there listening, and he said, some general, I guess it was Bradley or whoever, said, well, it's impossible, you can't do it, we're just going to have to wait. And the instant they told Bradley he can't do it, they told Bradley he couldn't do it.
Guess what happened?
He said, well, if Hannibal could go over those Alps, and we can do it too. Because what is an elephant? It's the same, it's as big as a tank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same weight. Big monster, big everything elephants are. And if they could take an elephant over the Alps in winter, we can take a tank, because a tank is more mobile than an elephant. So that's what they did. They did a 180-degree turn in the field and sent an entire army.
Wow.
It couldn't be done. They did it in just a few days. So you can't tell Americans, this is what it is. I come from an era, long before her era, where we were the can-do world. There was nothing we couldn't do. The manifest destiny, go west, young man. Basically, it it was a destiny for everybody. It didn't make any difference what color you were, what race you were, what religion you were. Manifest destiny. Everybody had an equal opportunity to get rich. Under Obama and his policy of we shouldn't be rich, we should be punished for what we were. We need to allow, Muslim extremists to basically run our government. I mean, I'm assuming soon he's probably going to have appoint a person to run, he's got to be on his council of, you're going to set some guy, probably, maybe he'll have Ahmadinejad come over and operate as Vice President of the United States, because he'll know how to deal with Muslims better. But he's a president of appeasement, a president that is basically, this morning, one of the noted psychiatrists said he's totally delusional, and they know why he's delusional.
And why would that be?
Because he shows all the reactions of nicotine poisoning. The guy basically is addicted to nicotine. He chews nicotine gum, just nicotine patches, and he smokes.
Which, guess what that means?
It gives you basically where he gets really hyper, and it's not the campaign trail that's driving him hyper. He starts smoking when he gets his crutch. A lot of people, we had a lot of presidents that drank a lot. When this president, I've got pictures of this guy, just walking around, just look like he's strung out, because he's chewing nicotine gum, nicotine patches, and smoking. When you smoke, it turns you a little bit wacky.
And part of it is when the people I know, I don't personally smoke, but the people that I've seen, that when they get stressed out or they're anxious, they smoke more, right? Because they think it calms them down.
And it doesn't. What happens is that if you're doing it with a nicotine patch, it's like if you
it's like double caffeine,
like
multiple espresso shots.
Yeah, it makes it hypers everything. This is why you'll see him like this, and it's just rah rah rah. The Democrats like it because it looks like he's enthusiastic. The problem is the doctors will say he's basically on a nicotine high. This is when he insults. Well, the damn Republicans are responsible. The Republicans have to work for the Democrats to make it. But the damn Republicans.
Which is why they're telling him to stay on script.
They want him to stay on script. He can't stay on script because look at him. He is hyper. He has all of the signs of being over nicotine. This is a guy that basically can't eat broccoli and things like that because he is on a nicotine-free diet.
Oh, is he really?
Well, he's not supposed to do this stuff. He pumps nicotine. Okay, George Bush he said he didn't like broccoli and these things, not because of the fact because his grandmother said you have to eat your greens. He was on a nicotine-free diet. He couldn't, when he got nicotine in him, he basically was an alcoholic. So what would happen is he would nicotine himself up, and then he'd look like he was drunk.
Which is what you don't want to do.
You don't want to do. The President of the United States, he goes out and attacks everybody. This morning, it basically, we've got the people that are only profit from this money are those millionaires, lobbyists, lawyers. He's a lawyer. The lawyers, bankers, Wall Street. And that is the country. That is the people of this country. Lobbyists do not make millions of dollars. Some do, most don't. A lot of lobbyists come there and they basically stand outside. Well, she was a congressional aide. She can tell you about lobbyists.
They do. Because some of them, like you said, some of them work for really large organizations where they have more resources. And then there's a lot of them that just work for small organizations.
They don't have a big budget.
It's like, it is. It's like they do everything that they can with what they have, and
they're the ones that they say are living out of a suitcase. They camp down hoping to be able to talk in front of somebody.
And they literally do. They will camp outside their office waiting.
Yeah.
Or sit there and wait, try and check with the people because everybody's got their schedules and they didn't schedule in the lobbyists.
And you'll hit the guys that the majority of the lobbyists in Washington D.C. do not represent major operations. They are the little guy, the one that they're the Michael J. Fox trying to get you.